I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And what she was essentially trying to tell me was that each and every one of us are unique in our own right, and that we can all tap into our unique abilities to make a difference in this world.
Yeah, here we go. I don't know what they was talking about, but let me tell y'all what I'm doing. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Trace Heeg, and I'm so excited to have Lovina Akowuah with me today. Lovina is an author, motivational speaker, and transformational coach. You have so much going on. What are you spending your time on that really gets you out of bed in the morning and keeps you up because you're so excited at night?
That's a great question. As you shared earlier, I am an author. And recently, I have been very busy finishing up 2 books. The first book that I wrote, actually, Unleash Your KIDness, which was launched back in 2013, which basically shares my journey and talks about what became the catalyst to change in my life. And then the second book, and it shares the challenges that I've been throughout my life as a business owner and lessons that I've drawn out of it. So I share my perspective of being a business owner as well as being in corporate and the lessons that can be drawn out of that, which I believe are transferable. As moms, we never know how our kids watch us. So my daughter, when I was writing my first book in 2013, came up with her own book title. Because my book is titled Unleash Your KIDness, she came up with her own book title called Unleash Your KIDness. So we are launching her book for finally, after almost 5 years of thinking about it, I decided to make her dream come true. So the book is co-authored by both of us. It's an essential book for parents and children. You would find out that she's talking to the youth from a child's perspective, and I'm talking to parents from a mother's perspective. And then we close out the book by sharing some tools and motivational strategies which, when discovered and applied, can help your child become self-driven and in turn have a positive neutral effect on you.
That is so exciting.
Thank you. I'm very excited about that.
And what's your daughter's name?
Afia.
Afia.
Yes.
Oh,
she's 11.
How exciting for her.
Yes, very, very.
And she came up with the title.
She did.
Wow. So you really have influenced her.
Absolutely.
Who has been most influential to you as you have gone through your journey?
Absolutely. I have had, I would say, both parents, both my mom and my dad. Growing up, my mom always told me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And what she was essentially trying to tell me was that each and every one of us are unique in our own right, and that we can all tap into our unique abilities to make a difference in this world. And the other thing that she shared with me, which has defined me, is that she shared with me that everyone's definition or everyone's breakthrough can happen in different seasons. So learn to celebrate the seasons of others today so that others will celebrate you tomorrow. And those 2 lessons that she shared with me is something that I have carried with me my whole life and has helped me to make certain decisions in my life. And my dad also shared with me that never bend the bridges behind you, because the people that you meet going up are the same people that you meet coming down. And we used to laugh about this, but he said this all the time, that it's ingrained in our mind. So I'm very grateful to have parents like that who have influenced me greatly.
So your mom was more like visionary,
Yes.
you know, looking out, saying, be fearless,
Yep.
You're wonderfully made.
Yep.
And your dad is back there being practical.
Yes, he's the practical
Don't
guy.
burn bridges.
Exactly. He barely talks, but when he opens his mouth, he gives you some good nuggets. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, Lovina, but people make a big influence on me, and also books. I'm wondering what you've been reading or what you have gone to for inspiration.
So first of all, I have to say that there is a saying that the secret to everything that you're looking for can always be found in the book. So I totally agree with you on that. I'm a Christian, so I would say the Bible is the number one book that influences me and gives me inspiration every day. But the second most important book that I feel is the foundation for human relations that everyone should read is the book titled How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book literally transformed me. It's about understanding how you can have everything that you want by choosing the right words and communicating effectively with people. But first of all, making others feel important and appreciated, and in turn, you get what you're looking for. So that book is a must read to me. Everyone needs to read that book. The second book that I read, which also changed the power of my mind, because I'm very interested in how the mind works, is The Secret, The Law of Attraction. When I listened and read that book for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, like you can literally make your mind do everything that you want. It's about thoughts turn into things. So it was such a rude awakening for me. And since then, I've been really practicing, self-affirmations and all these different types of things to change the way my mind perceives things. It's about, first of all, deciding what you want, seeing it happen, and watching it come to fruition for you. So those two books, in addition to the Bible, have been really, really great. There's lots of books. I've read lots of books by John Maxwell as well. The most recent one that I actually did a mastermind class on is John Maxwell's The Law of Growth, the 15 Laws of Growth. Okay. And he talks, he goes through different laws, and just to mention a few, one of them is about being intentional about growing. I think a lot of us don't think that you have to be intentional about your growth, and also creating awareness about who you are and what you're good at and what you know that you need to grow at, because we have to be truthful to ourselves. And then the law of the mirror, being able to look at yourself in the mirror and see who you are. So there's different laws in there, and all those I believe are very important for all of us if you are an individual who is leaning more towards a growth mindset more than a fixed mindset. Right. So yeah.
Wow. That was a lot of information.
Yes.
And all really good stuff.
Thank you.
I know one of the things I work on with my clients is their own personal brand. And you just reminded me of that, how you want to show up. Be intentional. And one of the questions I ask clients, people, is how do you want others to feel when they leave your presence?
Exactly.
Because if you can describe that, that's pretty much your brand.
Exactly.
So I guess I'll ask you that. How do you want others to feel when they leave your presence?
I would say I want others to feel that I am here to make a difference, that I want to touch lives. And it's about giving, and I'm here to serve and give to people, and I'm here to help others understand the power and the uniqueness that they have in them, so that they can in turn tap into those abilities and do things that they want to do in life.
That's great. So you were lucky to have a mom who said you're unique, be fearless. Yep. And you want people who spend time with you to feel that too.
Absolutely.
That's a great gift.
Thank you.
So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about failures. I don't know if you've read some of the books about the power of failure and how it can lead to innovation. And if you're going to fail fast and learn something, kind of like the growth mindset. Do you have a favorite failure?
So first of all, when I teach as well, I tell my clients to embrace failure, because if you haven't failed, you don't know what it takes to be successful. If you haven't failed, you can never teach the people around you. If you haven't failed, you cannot serve as a testimony to other people. So I make it a point, like you said, to fail so that I can move forward in life. And I want to go all the way back to when I was a little girl and growing up in Ghana, West Africa. I was 16 years old, and I had a failure. And when I did my high school exit exam at that time, I failed miserably in that exam. When time was up for everyone to go back to school, I was stuck at home, and all of my friends went back to school. And for me, it was a defining moment in my life because I knew that that failure had occurred because I did not put my best foot forward, that I did not work hard enough. I didn't do what it took to become successful. When I left the shores of Ghana, West Africa, and moved to London to start my first degree, which was in business administration, I had made a firm decision at that point that going forward for the rest of my life, success, if it was going to be, would be up to me. And so based on that, I carried that with me for the rest of my life, and I make it a point always put my best foot forward and to strive no matter what, because life is not meant to be easy. If it was easy, we're all going to be at the top. So that's been my philosophy in life now.
So again, very intentional about
Exactly.
what you wanted and how you were going to get there.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. So it sounds like education's been important to you. What else have you spent time on that was a really good investment? Time or money or energy?
That's a good question. So about 8 years ago, when I started my business, I was working full-time at that point, and it required me to come up with a small amount of money, only $500 that I needed to put in to invest in my business. Now, Therese, at that point, I was working full-time, but I couldn't even afford to come up with that $500. So I had to put that money on my credit card. My Discover card, I remember clearly. So I put that money on the credit card with the intent to pay it back when I was able to reap off my profit. And honestly, today, when I look back, that small investment of $500, which I didn't have to begin with, has changed my life drastically, because in this business venture that I went in, I have been able to learn how to develop, how to grow. I have developed skills, I have developed relationships, I have developed so much knowledge that has been beyond my wildest imagination. And I can honestly say that I am who I am today because of that small investment that I made in my life.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So take the risk.
Yes.
If you're going to invest in yourself.
That's right. Yep.
I agree.
Absolutely. Investing in yourself is the best thing that you can ever do for yourself.
Yeah. That's great. Speaking of that, do you have daily rituals that you invest in to keep yourself well?
Yes, I do. So first of all, I know myself very well, and I know what gets me going. I'm a thinker, and over the years, I've been able to observe myself to know what puts me in the right mind frame to think, to get ideas, innovative ideas, and to keep myself going. And that's for me to take care of my temple. So as a mom, it has been very difficult for me to balance and find time for myself. So over the last few months, I would say for the last 10 to 11 months, I've been religiously starting to wake up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. And at that time, I find that everywhere is quiet. I get to have time for me. I get to connect with myself. I get to spend time with the Lord. I get to do my daily affirmations, which is very important. And then I go into the gym and I give it my best. Most of my ideas is generated when I'm either running, when I'm either on the treadmill, either running outside or on the elliptical. That's when I get most of my ideas. So without those daily rituals, I'm nothing. And I notice that if I miss that by 1 or 2 days because there's something that is happening in my life and I can't just make it there, it makes I can see the difference. So that is something that I do daily, and it helps me.
One more question.
Yes.
Can you think of 3 words or phrases that capture the meaning of life for you, Lovina Akowuah?
Yes, absolutely. I can think of many, but the 3 that I would mention is to be purposeful about life. Life cannot be taken for granted, and I believe that we all need to be very strategic about how we live our life, because we only have one opportunity, right? And choosing to give back. Giving back is one of the most important things, because I have learned in my human relations that if you give back, naturally you're going to get what you want. So giving back, and also being grateful, gratitude. Gratitude is so important, because if you're not grateful for the little things that are happening in your life, such as being grateful that you can see today, you have ears to hear, you have mouths to speak. Those little things alone that you can speak out and say that you're grateful for will naturally draw the other things that you're looking for in your life. So those are the 3 words that I would like to leave to everyone today.
Thank you for taking time to give back here. I am grateful to have you.
It's been a pleasure to be here with you today, Therese.
Thanks.